Here's another quick take episode of the Real Estate Law Podcast. My name is Jason Muth with Pride Away Stays and Straightforward Short-Term Rentals. In this episode, we are talking to an online content creator. I mean, he's a lot more than that. He's a real estate investor, first and foremost. But this is our friend Avery Heilbron. He's moved down to Raleigh, North Carolina. We met Avery here in the Boston area. He used to run a meetup in Everett, Massachusetts at a really cool brewery called Night Shift. And Avery parlayed his experience and his charisma, because he's a young guy, good-looking guy, has a lot to say. He is on camera now, and he's putting himself out there as a content creator in the online space. But then he kind of stopped doing it, which I found interesting. Like he's kind of ebbed and flowed with the content creation. What it seems like it has done for him over the years is it's helped build his credibility and build his network. And we give him a lot of credit for putting himself out there. He talks a lot in this quick take episode and in the full episode of this podcast about all the hate comments that you get online. You know, people are they can be nasty with what they want to throw into a message field. But Avery's a smart guy. Like, he's not one of these vapid influencers that you see online. But, you know, it's important for you to have a sense of humor if you're going to be online, putting yourself out there. It's important not to take yourself too seriously and to realize there's going to be a lot of folks that, you know, are going to throw negativity your way. And he counteracts that with the people that reach out to him and thank him for, you know, a lot of his advice. He's done some coaching over the years. And I remember in this episode, he talked about how it was funny when he would set up a one-on-one call with somebody and it would actually be him on the Zoom and they'd be a little bit starstruck because they thought they'd be talking to one of his people. But the moral of this is that content creation is a great way to build credibility. And it's not in everybody's DNA to put themselves out there on camera just like this and put it up on the internet for all these people to see. Because you never know what you're going to get. But videos like this one that I'm recording and this episode of the Real Estate Law Podcast, this quick take, and all the work that Avery's done, he really did invest a lot of time in building a great video library up on YouTube. And his social media is just filled with lots of great information about all the work that he's doing. If you invest the time in that, I do think that deep down there are people that see that and people that understand the effort that you're putting into it. It helps rebrand or brand yourself in their minds as to who you are, what you do, what value you could add them, and how they might want to work with you. So if you're thinking about putting some content onto the internet to really help build your brand up and build credibility, you don't have to do it with an interest of getting influencer deals. That's a whole different game that we don't really even know that much about. Like, we actually build this podcast as a way of giving a platform to people to speak, building out our network, getting comfortable being on camera and on audio, and building up our credibility too. It's exactly what Avery's done. So have a listen to this quick take episode. If you'd like to reach out to Avery, he's very easy to find online. We have links in the show notes to this episode or in the full episode, and we hope you enjoy it.
I 100% agree with social network. I'm not the best, interactor with people, any type of means. And when there's the common ground of real estate to talk about, super easy. So makes it a lot better to meet new people that way.
So it's super ironic that you said that because you are a content creator and you've created years worth of content on all those platforms. What made you want to get into that space?
So it really was pretty simple, nothing crazy. At first, I did make a few of those DIY videos like you mentioned, but I got so frustrated with it because it was already quite difficult to do the whole DIY. Filming it made everything take 2 to 3 times as long, so I just didn't have the patience for it. But I had done a couple of podcasts like these, and I found that there was always more I wanted to say or more I wanted to add on, but you only have the time that you have. So I figured, hey, YouTube would be a really good place to do it. And then about a year into the YouTube journey, I just noticed one of my friends started taking off quite a bit on the short form content on TikTok. He's still really successful today. And I just figured I'd give it a try too to help drive audience and get more followers. And, social media also can create some income.
Mm-hmm. What kind of feedback did you get early on when you started making these videos, like from your friends and family?
I don't think friends and family ever watched it. Mia watches all of them, comments on all of them, so she's super supportive, but I don't think to this day either of my parents have watched a single video. So.
Really?
Yeah, I've told them about it. They know about it, but I think they don't really know. Sometimes I mention, okay, hey, I have this many followers. They're like, oh, okay, cool. That's interesting.
You have to have a lot of courage to put yourself out there like that too, right?
Yeah.
Talk about the kind of feedback that you get. I mean, you obviously have people that you coach now. So some people have really not just legitimately subscribed, but actually subscribe to what you're saying. How do you block out all of the distractors out there?
Yeah, I think it's just talking about what you believe in is very important. I still sit down when I put my camera on or have to hype myself up to get comfortable. I don't think it's something anyone, or at least myself, will ever be comfortable with. But I find the hate comments extremely funny. It's cool to know that someone took time out of their day to say something hateful about me. Like that's interesting to me. Yeah, on the flip side, if someone sends me an Instagram message or DMs me or comments saying, hey, I absolutely love your content, it's made me want to do X, or it's changed my life in this way, that's obviously quite powerful and worth a lot too.
Yeah, I'd have a hard time tuning it out, I think, and I just did a couple videos next door at one of our other short-term rentals, just literally walking people through a property, like how to use the thermostat, that kind of thing. Like I've wanted to do those types of videos, and like it is not easy. I mean, like the amount of takes I had to do just for a stupid video about how to use our turntable and our thermostat, I can only imagine what it's like, with some of the content you're putting out.
Yeah, there's a lot of takes.
Yeah. Do you have a team of people who've helped with your videos, or are you doing all that yourself?
Right now, YouTube probably has the most team. So I do have an editor and he creates the thumbnails. Lately, I started using him earlier this year. He does fantastic on the edits. Timing and his time management, not as fantastic, but I'm not too upset about it because the videos look so good. But for the short form stuff, since it's pretty easy to just edit on your phone and I don't do anything too spectacular from an edit perspective, that's pretty easy, especially early on, though. You had to add your own captions that looked nicer. Now TikTok's caption generator just does that all for you. So I did kind of, all the texting on my hand did hurt my wrist for the first 6 months because I was making 3-4 videos a day, but not so much that anymore.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, that's a real thing. My mother, she's an artist.
I just want to ask about the motivation for putting together a lot of the content, because in real estate investing, you could do a lot of this very quietly, out of sight from everybody else, almost anonymously. And to kind of take the effort and the time, there's another job on top of doing the real estate investing. So I just wanted to ask, why are you interested in putting together the content, and why did you go down this road?
Yeah, so interestingly enough, I don't love making content, but I really like the coaching and real estate coaching side of things. And I just saw it as a really easy way to market yourself because for the most part, it's pretty free. Obviously, you need a Wi-Fi connection and the device to make the content, but it's just a really easy way to reach a mass audience. And so that was what I thought would be the best way. I find it really rewarding, probably even more than when I buy a property, when someone I helped bought a property and you can see their life in a better trajectory. So that's been the biggest driver for sure.
All right, there's another quick take with the Real Estate Law Podcast. For the full episode, go to YouTube or Spotify or iTunes or wherever you heard or listened to that quick take. We also have all of our episodes posted at realestatelawpodcast.com. So on behalf of Rory Gill, I'm Jason Muth, one of your hosts, and we thank you for listening.